Door blows off mid-flight. 2 astronauts stranded in orbit. 346 people who never made it home. This isn't a thriller. This is Boeing. For over 100 years, this name meant safety, trust, the gold standard of American engineering. Then, in less than 6 years, it all came apart. 2 brand new planes fell out of the sky for the exact same reason, and NASA had to call its biggest rival's own astronauts home.
In the next 15 minutes, you'll see the decisions, the cover-ups, and the cost, in dollars and in lives.
From glory to crisis, how America's greatest aerospace company lost its way. Boeing. The name once represented the best of American engineering and innovation. But in 2018, something went terribly wrong, and it changed everything. This is the story of how one of the world's most trusted companies became one of its most controversial. A story of greed, negligence, and tragedy. A story that cost 346 innocent lives. This is Boeing, from glory to crisis. Boeing. Founded in 1916 by William E. Boeing in Seattle, Washington, for over 100 years, the company built the world's most trusted aircraft. Commercial airplanes, military jets, spacecraft. Every day, millions of people trusted their lives to Boeing-built machines. The company employed 140,000 people across America. It was the symbol of American engineering excellence, cutting-edge technology, precision, safety, trust. Boeing made 2 main products: commercial airplanes, the 737, 777, and 787 that carried regular passengers, and defense and space, military aircraft, weapon systems, and spacecraft. For decades, Boeing was the best. But by 2018, something changed, and that change would shake the entire world. October 29th, 2018. A Boeing 737 MAX 8 operated by Lion Air crashed into the Java Sea just after takeoff from Jakarta, Indonesia. 189 people died. All gone. Families, children, innocent people trusting in Boeing's aircraft. Initially, people were confused. How could a brand new aircraft, delivered just months earlier, simply plunge into the sea? The Indonesian aviation authorities immediately started investigating. They found something troubling. The aircraft had experienced the same technical issue the day before the crash, but engineers deemed it airworthy to fly. Then came the worst news. March 10th, 2019, just 5 months later. Another Boeing 737 MAX 8. This time, Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302 crashed near Addis Ababa. 157 people dead. The exact same problem. The exact same cause. Now the world was terrified. 346 people were dead. 2 identical crashes. 2 identical problems. The Boeing 737 MAX was grounded worldwide. But the real question was, how did Boeing let this happen? The culprit was a computer system called MCAS, Maneuvering Characteristics Augmentation System. Sounds technical, but think of it this way. MCAS was supposed to help pilots fly the plane by automatically adjusting the stabilizer if the aircraft's angle got wrong. The problem? The system could malfunction. It could receive false information about the aircraft's angle. And when it malfunctioned, it would push the plane's nose down. Automatically. Repeatedly. The pilots couldn't stop it. In both crashes, the MCAS system received wrong information. It thought the plane was going up when it was level, or going down. So it pushed the nose down. The pilots fought with the controls. They tried everything they knew, but the system kept fighting back. Eventually, the pilots lost control. The planes went into dives they couldn't recover from, and they crashed into the ground. But here's the real scandal. Boeing knew about this problem. Boeing knew MCAS could be dangerous, and they didn't tell the pilots. They didn't put it in the training manuals. They didn't explain how to fix it if it malfunctioned. Why? To save money, to save time, to get the plane to market faster. The crashes destroyed Boeing's finances. Let's look at the numbers, because numbers tell a story too. In 2018, Boeing made $101 billion. They were at their peak. Everything was perfect. But after the first crash, revenue started dropping. 2019, revenue fell to $76 billion, a 25% drop in 1 year. 2020, this was the disaster year. Revenue collapsed to $58 billion. But wait, there's more bad news. Boeing didn't just lose revenue, they lost massive amounts of money. In 2020 alone, Boeing lost $11.940 billion. Think about that. Boeing lost $11.94 billion in a single year. That's $32 million lost every single day. Every day for 365 days. Let's put this in perspective. $32 million per day equals 320 luxury homes, 3,200 luxury cars, or 15,000 average American yearly salaries. Lost. Every single day. But Boeing's losses didn't stop there. 2021 brought more losses, more money gone. Year after year of red ink. If you own Boeing stock, you got crushed. Absolutely devastated. In 2018, Boeing stock was worth $440 per share. Investors felt great. Their money was safe with America's greatest aerospace company. Then came the crashes. The stock price didn't just fall, it collapsed. Within weeks of the first crash, the stock fell to $320. Investors lost 25% of their money, just like that. After the second crash, it fell to $150. That's a 66% loss. Then came 2020. COVID-19 hit. The pandemic killed demand for airline travel. Nobody was flying. Airlines canceled orders.
The stock dropped to $95 a share. If you had invested $1 million in Boeing stock in 2018, by 2020 your investment was worth only $215,000. You lost $785,000, nearly $800,000. Gone. Even today in 2025, the stock hasn't recovered. It's still worth around $185 to $200. Investors who bought at the peak are still down 55%. Here's where it gets really serious. Boeing didn't just lose money. Boeing ran out of cash. They had negative cash flow. That means they were spending more money than they were making. In 2019, Boeing's operating cash flow went negative by $2.4 billion. They were burning through cash. In 2020, it got worse. Negative $18.4 billion. The company was hemorrhaging money. When a company runs out of cash, they have to borrow money. They take loans. They sell debt. Boeing had to borrow billions from banks. Today, Boeing owes over $60 billion in debt. $60 billion. That's more money than the yearly budget of most countries. Every single day, Boeing has to pay interest on this debt. That means 70 cents of every dollar the company makes just goes to paying back money they borrowed. It's like you earning $1,000 a month, but $700 of it goes to pay interest on credit cards. You can barely survive. Just when people thought things couldn't get worse for Boeing, they did. January 5th, 2024. Alaska Airlines Flight 1282. A Boeing 737 MAX 9 is cruising at 16,000 feet with 177 people on board. Suddenly, a door plug blows out. A massive hole opens in the side of the fuselage. Passengers are looking out at the sky. The pressure drops. The oxygen masks deploy. Everyone is panicking. They think the plane is going to crash. A door plug is a component that covers an unused door opening. It shouldn't just blow out. It was installed incorrectly at Boeing's factory. Quality control failed. The pilots managed to land the plane safely. But this was a massive embarrassment for Boeing. A hole in the fuselage. How does that happen? It proved that Boeing's quality control problems were ongoing. They still hadn't fixed their manufacturing process. They were still making dangerous mistakes. But Boeing's problems weren't just with commercial aircraft. They also failed with spacecraft. June 2024. Boeing launched its Starliner spacecraft with 2 NASA astronauts on board, Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams. The mission was supposed to last 8 days. Just 8 days. But soon after launch, problems appeared. Helium leaks in the propulsion system. Thrusters malfunctioning. The spacecraft couldn't dock properly with the International Space Station. Weeks of testing followed. NASA realized something terrible. The Starliner was too dangerous to bring the astronauts home. Too dangerous. NASA made a historic decision. SpaceX would rescue them. SpaceX, Boeing's competitor, the company that was supposed to be the inferior option. SpaceX had to fly up and rescue the astronauts that Boeing left stranded. Wilmore and Williams remained in space for more than 9 months waiting for rescue. 9 months. The 2 astronauts couldn't go home in the spacecraft that brought them there. This was perhaps the most embarrassing moment in Boeing's history. The company couldn't safely bring 2 people home from space. SpaceX had to do it. So the big question, how did Boeing, America's greatest aerospace company, fall so far so fast? The answer is simple: profit over people. Boeing's leadership decided that speed and profit were more important than safety. They rushed the 737 MAX to market to compete with Airbus. They didn't test enough. They didn't fully explain the MCAS system. They didn't prioritize safety. The company's culture changed. It used to be about building the best aircraft in the world. Now, it was about making the most profit. When a company loses its values and focuses only on money, bad things happen. The FAA also shares blame. The Federal Aviation Administration trusted Boeing too much. They let Boeing do much of its own testing and certification. That's called regulatory capture, when the company controls the agency that's supposed to watch it. Management failures made it worse. CEO Dennis Muilenburg collected $62 million in severance pay while people were dying because of his company's negligence. That created anger and distrust. And the culture at Boeing became toxic. Engineers who tried to speak up about safety problems weren't listened to. The company moved faster and faster, cutting corners, rushing production. All of this led to tragedy. 346 people died because of Boeing's mistakes. Families lost loved ones. Investors lost billions. Workers lost jobs. A company lost its reputation. But from tragedy, we learn. Boeing's collapse teaches us that profit can never trump safety. That companies must have strong values. That regulators must be independent. That workers who speak up must be protected. Boeing is still trying to recover today. But trust, once broken, takes a very long time to rebuild. Maybe longer than it took to build it in the first place. This is the Boeing story. A story of ambition, negligence, and tragedy. A story that America will not forget.